Well, good thing he doesn't have any like kids or a woman, huh?
Yeah, I think the woman part. Well, I don't know if he. It's kind of confusing. He has a woman or he doesn't have a woman. I don't really know.
Tinder.
Grinder. So yeah, what's new with you?
Nothing, dude. Just kids are super busy.
Yeah.
We got something going on every single night.
Yeah, just like soccer or whatever.
Yeah. T-ball, baseball,
Okay.
Gymnastics.
Dang.
Nonstop every day during the week.
How old are your kids now?
So Cooper's 8, Hadley's 7, Beckett's 5, and then Reagan's 3.
Dude, you got your hands full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. And then because the girls are both doing gymnastics, and then the boys have 2 games each week. So Monday and Thursday. I mean, Monday and Wednesday are Beckett's. Tuesdays and Thursdays are Cooper's.
Huh?
I'm like, dude,
a lot. How do you find time to do anything?
I don't do anything. That's why in the winter, that's why I don't do anything else except for when work's slow, then I'm like, all right, now it's duck hunting time.
Yeah. Yeah, so that brings us into kind of what I wanted you to come over and talk about. Obviously, this is somewhat of a new thing. Just trying to make that money, got to get out there and grind it out. But I actually don't know this. What got you into waterfowl? I've never asked that question before.
So, I grew up around hunting, but it was in Montana, so it's a lot different. So I always went with my uncles and cousins and stuff when they all, like, I tagged along and they shot all their animals, and then we moved over here, and then like when I became of age, like I started taking it on myself, and then over here in Washington, big game's hard, you know, unless you know someone or you have family that has property or anything like that. Like, big game's hard, and then like I was learning it also, and then I was trying to do it, and then it just wasn't like I never really fell in love with it, because I'm like, dude, this sucks. And then every public land spot is just littered with people. And then so my buddy Nick, his dad, Raph, he worked at Safeway, and then he was like a meat cutter. And then one day, like there's like a customer that always came in and was like talking about duck hunting. And so one day he like came up to us and said, "Hey, do you guys want to go try duck hunting?" And I don't know how young we were, maybe like 14, 13, something like that, maybe 14, 15. And we tried it, and I just fell in love with it. I don't know. And then it's just eating me up, dude. I can't stop. I keep telling my wife I'm going to retire, but no, I can't.
I bet she would love if you retired.
Yeah, she would. But the thing is, like, if I wasn't doing that during the winter, like, I would go find work. Yeah. So, like, I'd be working. I mean, I'd still be gone. I would be bored just sitting at home.
Yeah. I feel like there's a certain point, too, if you're home too much around your spouse.
Yeah.
That's also...
Yeah. See, that's another thing, though. Like, my wife is so great because she allows me to, like, chase my passion. Yeah. Like, yours is different because, like, you and your wife share a passion and you guys get to do stuff together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool, too. But, like, I mean, you know, we got 4 kids. She lets me chase my passion, and she does everything, lets me go do me for the winter, takes care of everything, and then I don't have to worry about, you know, anything really. And then, I mean, it's
really pretty incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. So, that's kind of a wild story as far as how you got into waterfowl, how just one day you're like, hey, let's go try this.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And I mean, it was cold for sure, but it was just like, just being out there and watching them, you know, it's different. Like, I guess, when you're in the woods and like that's cool and everything, but there's nothing like that beats like a sunset or a sunrise just right on top of the water, you know, when you're just sitting there waiting.
Fog's just kind of coming rolling in.
Like, I don't know, it's something about just the beauty and everything, even if you don't have the best day, bag limit wise, or, you know, you even don't shoot anything. Like, it's the camaraderie, like when we go hunting and stuff like that, like we still have a great time no matter what.
It always seems to be a good time, whether it's a good day or a bad day. Some days you get those days where you're like, you know, that truck seems awfully warm, but
for sure there are those days, especially, you know, like January, when January comes around and you're grinding it out, you know, every day. And then you're thinking in your head, like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
You hunt enough. Do you ever feel like you get kind of immune to the weather?
I think so. Definitely get acclimated. We do have some brutal days. I mean, it still gets cold.
Yeah.
But being out there enough, I mean, you get used to it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I find that, like, even on the coldest days, I can't shoot very well with a bunch of layers on, so I'm always trying to not wear very many layers, and then that also makes me really cold.
Yep.
But those people you said you originally waterfowl hunted with, do you hunt with them ever anymore?
Sometimes. I mean, they're busy, like, you know, with work and stuff. Like, I got it pretty good where I'm at. You know, work gets slow in the winter. Like, that's an ideal spot for me. I mean, I still work. I'm still on call, things like that. So I do miss out on some stuff, but, you know, I'm available pretty much 5 days a week during the winter. And
that's pretty perfect for a waterfowl.
Pretty perfect, dude. The only thing that would be more perfect is if, you know, I still kept my insurance for my whole family and never had to work.
Yeah,
for the 4 months or whatever. That would be ideal. But at least I at least need to have 40 hours in a month to keep my insurance. And I'm like, man, come on, you know?
Yeah. So what do you, as far as on-call stuff, what do you do in the wintertime?
Nothing. So if it's busy or whatnot or vacations, things like that, then they'll call me. But I'm moving up on like the seniority list.
Yeah.
So like right now I'm in a sweet spot. So there's enough people above me that still want to work all winter long, but I'm moving up. So, I mean, I guess that's we'll see how it goes. I might have to take, you know, we have optional layoffs. Mm-hmm. If I save enough money throughout the year, you know, that might be an option later on, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Had any luck selling your boat?
No, not yet.
No more?
Nope. Some guy from, I don't know where he's from, like Montana or something. He said, hey, I'll be in town this weekend, this past weekend. He's like, I was like, all right, dude. Yeah, let's do it. Like, come look at it. And then I never heard back from him. So I don't know if he was ever in town.
Yeah. Any of you guys out there watching this, he's got a pretty sick boat for sale. So, aside from that, you said you got into waterfowl hunting at like 13 or 14. Who have you hunted with mostly since then?
I don't know. I mean,
just all over the place.
I mean, we hunt quite a bit. But I mean, for the longest time, it was mostly, you know, just me. Like, I was grinding out alone, and I never ventured out really. The year I actually met you. Do you remember how we met? That's a good story.
I do want to hear your side of it because I remember, but yeah.
Yeah, I think, okay, so I was coming back from hunting and I had decoys in the back of my truck. And then like we pulled up next to each other at a stoplight, and then you said something like, hey, how was your day or something? Yeah. And then, but I kind of knew you from, you know, because we went to school down there. But I mean, I kind of knew of you, and I didn't know you, but I knew of you. So when you were talking to me, I like kind of knew who you were. And then, I just said like, oh, it was good. And I was like, yeah, I'll hit you up or something. Yeah. Something like that. And then from there, dude, we were hunting.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know why. I never do that to people either.
No, that year, I don't even remember what year it was now, but that year I started kind of venturing out a little bit. like social media, people like at a boat launch or something, I'd just say like we'd get together or whatever. And then I just kind of started hunting with certain people here and there. I mean, that part, it's kind of rough because you run into some people that you might not mesh with, You spend a lot of time in a blind, dude.
Yeah.
Duck hunting with somebody. Like there's a lot of downtime when you're duck hunting.
Yeah.
Or there can be at least. So you want to make sure that, you're kind of mesh with the person, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there too. You find that you say, hey, let's meet at this time or whatever, and then just no shows. Like I cannot deal with people that are just inconsistent.
Yeah.
So it's definitely nice finding a guy like you who is down to go all the time.
Yep.
Obviously I don't go as much as you do, so it's a little bit easier for you to be like, yeah, I'm already going. So
yeah, let's roll.
Yeah.
But, and I mean, that's another thing too, like, especially with me being, free a lot, like I'll be lined up on something, but can't get anybody to come out or whatever. I don't know, but venturing out was good because like I'm self-taught, like nobody in my family waterfowl hunted, anything like that. So everything that I've learned is just by making mistakes or picking things up from people that have hunted before and stuff like that. So, I mean, that venturing out with, people that you trust, things like that too, like that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as, that goes, some of the things that you've learned some things over the years to get like better at being more consistent at killing birds. What are some of the, I guess, more positive things or things that you have learned that has like greatly impacted your hunting?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the biggest thing is scouting.
Yeah.
I mean, the jobs I've had before, like I was just a weekend warrior and, I just love being out there. I don't even care if I shoot anything. So before, what I used to do is I would just pick a spot and I'd say, I'm just going to go out. And then it usually wasn't good.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, scouting is huge because you just find birds, find out what they're doing, where they're coming from, where they're going, how they're feeding, where they're feeding, things like that. And then, or being on an X. I mean, scouting is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing that changed like this past year, man. We've had weird weather. So it's been pretty weird chasing ducks, but the geese, I got on pretty good. We got on them pretty good this year. So
yeah,
but definitely scouting.
I'm starting to learn that like if you want to have those good hunts, it's almost more fun to just, hey, we're gonna put some time behind the wheel and just drive. And if you don't find anything, sleep in or go scouting again.
Mm-hmm.
And we got lucky a few times, but I guess, is it luck or is it spending 8 hours behind the wheel in a day? Or
but I mean, you spend 8-10 hours behind the wheel and then they're there, and then you go there and then they're not there anymore the next day. So, I mean, that happens too. But
or something freezes up,
or freezes up.
I guess you just never know. But then sometimes you're done in an hour.
But yeah, that happened.
So,
but scouting is definitely probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, upgrading. When I first started, I just had like yard cell decoys.
Yeah.
Upgrading decoys, things like that. That helps. Also too, doing the research, learning like how birds roost or they come from roost or loaf, like learning how birds actually act, definitely plays a big part so that what time of day, where to be, how to be, things like that.
Yeah. That's another thing as far as like decoys go. I'm learning that it doesn't have to be the best decoy on the market, or like everyone raved about full bodies for a little while. And I even I had a trailer full of full body decoys. And if you're where they want to be, I don't think it matters. I think you have silos out, and honestly, a lot of it might come into my laziness too, but silos are so much easier than running a full body spread. You can get so many more decoys in a truck instead of a trailer. And I think that is definitely a learning curve for me, is just like, hey, find the birds, have an easy spread, and they're going to come no matter what.
Right. Be where they want to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes less is more. You know what I mean? Depending on the time of year, of course. I mean, once you get like stell birds that have already seen everything, you know, sometimes less is more.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't always need a huge spread. You don't need to put out the spinners or the jerk cords or anything like that. But it's definitely, I've just learned a lot from failing a lot of times.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I actually like 10 minutes before you got here, one of my dad's friends is moving or something, and he sends me a picture, and he's got like 12.5 Bigfoots, like brand new. He's like, "You want these?" And I'm like, "How much?" He's like, "Just come get them." I'm like, "All right." So I'll go out and get those in the next couple of days. I mean, I'm still going to, if there's full bodies, I'll still take them. I'm not going to say no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
But I'm definitely going to start buying more of a silhouette spread. And then I want to get into buying a bunch of the snow goose decoys too.
Yeah.
I really want to do that.
Yeah. So that's a big thing for me going forward. Definitely want to venture out to snow geese. Man, I was driving. I was putting on miles for this spring snow season.
Yeah.
I mean, every day, 12-hour days, just driving. But it's hard. Everybody, you know, it's hard for us because they're not around us. Like we have to drive 3 hours at least in order to even lay eyes on a snow goose. And it's hard for us because, you know, you got to scout it, but then it's hard to waste a day before and then figure out how you're going to get there the next day, or somebody's already on it, things like that. I mean, that's what I ran into. I found massive feeds of snows, but everything was already taken, leased up or whatever. And so that's a big emphasis I'm going to take this year is earlier. You know, I'm going to go put boots on the ground and try to figure it out a little bit more.
Yeah. I really kind of want to do some of that early duck hunting as well. We haven't really done much of the early season. Well, in Washington, we've opened up a couple, but do you think you're going to get an Idaho license? I've been trying to convince you for the last 5 years, I swear.
If you're available, I'll go. Yeah. I'll go. I mean, I've never hunted Idaho.
Well, if we do it, I know of a spot where we could probably shoot at least a limit of Drake wood ducks on opening day.
I'm in.
So
I'm in.
I think that would be, and it's a kind of you're either going to shoot a limit of Drake wood ducks and maybe a few widgeon or nothing else. But I think a limit of Drake wood ducks would be better to me than a couple limits of ducks. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of you just sit under a tree with maybe a few decoys out there, and there's this one spot I know of. So,
I think the only woody I've ever seen during hunting season was when we went to Oregon.
Oh, yeah, we did see that one, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I shot, a handful of them now in the spot I'm talking about. Lincoln, I took him out on youth season one time, and he shot half a limit of Drake wood ducks.
Yeah. See, that's a dream, dude.
Yeah, so.
That's a dream duck. That's my next one that's going to be on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, to some people, it's like... It's a wood duck, but we just don't get them around here. Not many people shoot them.
Nope.
So I had one, and it was a stud drake. My first one, actually. And Gage had fetched it up to me. And I put it in the freezer. I was going to mount it. And my sister didn't know what it was and threw it away. So that was pretty discouraging, but oh well, I guess. So
we'll get one this year.
Yeah, I think we can get a good one, and then I'll add it to the wall somewhere. I'm supposed to fit my mountain lion in here somewhere, and I don't really know where it's gonna go.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Thinking right here, and I'll move the TV, but we'll see. But yeah, obviously our taxidermist retired.
Yep, she did.
That sucks. So now I don't really know who to go to.
I don't know.
Yeah, that one's gonna be tough.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research.
Yeah. I actually broke that goose, or Ashley broke that goose. I'll blame it on her. When we moved, I don't know if you can see the neck at all. It's kind of wonky, but it was at a 90 when we moved.
Yeah, when we moved into our place, I had my pintail, and I was like, "Oh, dude, this would be a perfect spot for it." It's like right above the stairs, right? The stairs go downstairs, and it's right on the wall before you go down the stairs. And so I hung it up, and I was like, "Oh, that looks so good." I'm like trying to straighten it out. Boom, fell right on the ground, dude. I'm like, no.
Oh, that's bad. So as far as some of your favorite hunts go in the last couple of years, I just want you to, and I may have been there, I'm not sure, but describe some of the scenarios on some of your better hunts as far as, I mean, into detail as far as decoys and stuff like that goes. I'm just curious as to, like you say, sometimes less is better, and whether you have any of those hunts. Because I have a couple that, I mean, pop in my head where we didn't have very many decoys or none at all sometimes.
Yeah.
But is there any hunts in the last couple of years where something weird happened or it just worked out to be perfect?
I probably am gonna say what one that comes off the top of my head right now is when we had to break open that big ice hole.
Oh, yeah.
So we busted up in this frozen ice hole, and then, we kind of went out there blind.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I put eyes on it before.
Yeah.
But I mean, ideally we were kind of going blind, and then get down there. We didn't know what there was for a hide, and we're trying to figure it all out in the morning, as well as breaking open a ton of ice. And then, I mean, that worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, we made it happen, but that was also due to scouting, and we seen, what was going on, where they were. Another one is another field that I could see them, and, it took me half a day to get a hold of the farmer, so I was just running around looking for the farmer. I wasn't really doing anything, and then by the time, I talked to him, he gave me the okay. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I want you to," I told him, I'm like, as he said no at first, and I'm like, man, if I completely understand, but I mean, we'll park in town, like whatever scenario you want to give us, like, I'm willing to do it. Like, we'll clean everything up, yada yada yada. And he's like, all right, well, just park down here, and then you just walk up the hill and things like that. So get there. I didn't want to scare him out of there. And then by the time I went there, like, I had everything packed up, what I thought I needed. And then get to the spot. It's not a hill, dude. It's a freaking mountain. And then, like, so I pack up some stuff, and then I'm just like, that killed me. Like, I'm not going back down for anything more. And then, I mean, that was another one that just worked out. It was like, less was more. They just wanted to be there, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter what I had. I mean, of course I hid myself, but
yeah,
it's just sometimes if you're there, it doesn't really matter what you got.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, Ash and I had a hunt, and we talked about it before, but we were hunting this flooded field, and we only had 2 decoys out because I was like, we had to cross this creek, and we had a big spread of decoys, and they just weren't wanting where we were. And finally, I was just watching them, like, they want to be over there. Let's just take like 2 decoys over there. We'll go sit in the water, and just mallard after mallard after mallard after mallard coming in. So, like you say, if you're on the spot, you're on the spot where they want to be.
Right.
And it can be a matter of 100 yards. I mean, 100 yards is a lot when it comes to...
It definitely can be, like, especially if you're in a field or whatnot,
Yeah.
They can feed out a field.
Yeah.
Like, it can happen. So they move fields, things like that. So, I mean, definitely, I guess I'm not that versed in the duck's brain. So, I don't know why sometimes one spot is more desirable than the other. I mean, they like the middle of the fields, of course, because they get preyed on by everything, right?
Yeah.
Usually it's the best to hide if you're on an edge, but usually they don't want to be on an edge. Yeah. Sometimes you can traffic them over or whatnot, but it's a lot better to be where they want to be.
Yeah. So did you mostly hunt fields last year, or did you get on the river very much, or?
Yeah. So last year, just pretty much fields. Some little water, but most of it was, I could walk in.
Yeah.
And then that was another thing too, is like the year before, like that's something I told myself is like, I'm just going to try just to hunt fields or small water.
Yeah.
Because only I've ever hunted was big water, where I needed a boat or whatever it might have been, or a dog and things like that. But last year, man, I just pretty much stayed to dry fields or, small water.
Yeah.
And it worked out. I mean, it's much nicer.
Yeah.
It is much nicer. But, I mean, you have great days when you're hunting big water. I mean, big water hunts are fun and cool, but there's a lot more. It seems like a lot more work goes into it rather than if you're just hunting a field, where.
Yeah. And as a safety aspect too, I know that we've in the past, I mean, you had basically what was a canoe.
Yeah.
And we've loaded this thing to the brim with decoys. We have 5 people in there when it's only supposed to have 2.
And a dog.
Yeah. And there's 4 inches of boat sticking above the water. Mm-hmm. And that's a good way to die.
And then towing somebody behind on a kayak.
I always remember you saying, I'm like, why aren't you wearing a life jacket? You're like, I don't want to come out of this, dude.
No doubt, sometimes.
So.
Yep, there's been some bad days for sure.
I would say the dumbest thing we had ever done was we're going to hunt the river. I mean, there's snow on the ground, there's ice on the edges, and we had this boat so full that we're like, we're going to pull, I don't know what your buddy's name was, but Zach. We're like, we're going to pull him in a kayak behind the boat. And I'm pretty sure he was stoned.
I don't know, something.
But he had something going on. I don't really know the guy very well, but we're pulling him, and I am very surprised that he did not die.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I don't know what we were thinking. And he didn't have a headlamp either, hunt. So he's just in the dark.
Sitting out there in the dark, just bobbing back and forth. I don't know.
How he did not go over, I have no idea.
I don't know how he didn't say no. Dude. Like, no. Put a decoy bag on this. Like, let me hop in the boat.
There would have been no way I would have gotten in that thing. I would have sat in the truck the whole day.
Yeah, no, I would have swam, dude. No, there's no way.
Oh, my goodness. We shot a couple birds that day, a couple nice redheads. Actually, that one is in that group.
Yeah, we did. I forgot about that. Yeah, we shot a handful of redheads that day.
Yeah. But that was a pretty crazy. I will never forget his face, dude. That was pure fear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the field hunting is definitely the way to go as far as a safety aspect. And you got to make sure you're hunting with the right guys, too.
Yeah.
So, got to make sure if you haven't hunted with them, like, you need to set that this is the way it's going to be. Right. And if something happens, I'm not hunting with you anymore. And especially if it's your field, you can tell them to leave. Yep. Like, I know a lot of people might think you're a dick for doing that, but at the same time, I'm here to have fun and hunt. I'm not here to be in a danger zone.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, definitely, safety's on, things like that. I was on one hunt this past year where, there was snow on the ground. So, of course, you don't want blood all over the spread.
Yeah.
He walked up, took a shotgun, shot the goose. Everybody was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't like running away. Like, he could have grabbed it. But, and then the same guy accidentally was loading his gun, and then a round went off. And then, we're looking at each other like, dude, I swear, if something happens again, like, we're out.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to be safe. And I get that accidents happen, but...
They do, yeah, definitely. But, I mean, you just got to kind of... If you're hunting with new people and things like that, you got to tell them exactly what.
Yeah.
Like, what you expect out of the scenario, Don't take your safety off until you're ready to shoot.
Yeah.
Don't be just... Especially, like, when you're hunting out a boat and a boat blind or things like that, man. Guns just fall things like that. People are walking around. I mean, it's not a safe scenario. So definitely always have your safety on.
Yeah, I've hunted with some people, and I mean, this isn't as big of a deal, but you hunt with people, and I mean, you say, oh, there's geese coming in, and as soon as you say there's geese coming in, you hear those safeties start clicking. Mm-hmm. It's like, maybe you just be a little safer than that. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So you gonna keep shooting the same shotgun this year?
I don't know. I mean, I won a new shotgun.
You have a SB2?
SB2, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I won a new shotgun, but at the same time, man, I got 4 kids.
Yeah, I get that.
And I like taking the winters off.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I still shoot ducks with it. I guess when I start messing up.
It's shot pretty good for you, hasn't it?
It's shot good. I mean, it has its issues, like it's Benelli issues, you know what I mean? But, yeah. I mean, still does good.
Yeah, for sure.
And then that way when I miss, you know, I could just blame it on the Benelli click or whatever it might be.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I love my over and under. You know what it looks like. It looks like I freaking came from Goodwill. But I really miss that third shot sometimes. And being able to shoot a 3.5 inch every once in a while is nice. Especially on like big geese, but I've gotten to the point. I mean, I only obviously shoot 3 inch, and honestly, a lot of it, you just let the birds get close enough. I've been using like 2s for geese, and I've been having decent success. A lot of the geese I hunted this year were small geese though, or I guess half of them were small geese.
Yeah,
but it seems to work. Sometimes though, you like shoot 2, and then you're like, well, there's a goose right there or a duck right there, and you miss that third shot, but that could happen with a 4th shot too. I guess you never really know.
I'm like, man, when's Plug's gonna go away? That's why I need to go to Arkansas. Yeah, so I can go shoot some snows. See what it's actually like to shoot without a plug.
Yeah, I'd have to buy a new gun because I don't have one. Yeah, I don't think you can just put more shells down the barrels.
No, I don't think you can do that.
So, but I've also thought about getting a 20 gauge a lot lately.
I've thought about a 20 gauge. I don't think there's a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. It's only, I would assume 20 gauge is only a 3 inch shell. They're not going to make a 3.5 inch, I don't believe.
I don't know.
If they made a 3.5 inch 20 gauge, I mean, that would be like, I feel like it would look funny, but
that would look sweet.
Yeah. But I definitely have been thinking about a 20 gauge, especially for ducks. I think it'd be fun. Mm-hmm. Early season ducks, I feel like you could probably get on birds again. Like your follow-up shots would be way quicker.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my only thing is I thought about it, but then I'm like, man, I might have to buy all my shells online because
Can you not find them in the stores? Dude, I went out to Black Sheep the other day. They got ammunition like no other.
They do?
Yeah.
I mean, Cabela's was restocked. I just went there and they were restocked. So I don't know. Maybe it's fixed. Supply chain issues are fixed.
Everything but primers.
Yeah.
Dude, Black Sheep had some freaking ammo out there. I probably shouldn't be saying that.
No, you shouldn't be saying that, dude.
They didn't have anything.
It was Black Sheep in California.
Yeah, that's where it was. Yeah, so what are your, obviously, if you can get time off of work, is there anything you're really trying to chase or really expecting out of this season?
No, not really. I mean, I'm just going to I just roll.
Scout. Just roll. Find birds.
I'm going to scout. I definitely made some good relations with some good farmers this last season. Touch base with all those guys, early before season even starts, bring them maybe some goose jerky or whatever it might be. And then from there, man, I mean, just start the grind. We'll see. I mean, usually work's still pretty busy for me until, after Thanksgiving. So, I mean, I miss kind of that early season window. So the ducks usually are starting to leave by the time I'm, in full force. But
you don't work on the weekends though, do you?
No, not on the weekends. No.
Yeah.
So I'll just be a weekend warrior there for a little bit, and then but my plan, we'll see, but my plan is to, not even bother with the goose until, like December or, even later. I'm just going to try just to chase ducks for as long as I can, until they leave, I guess.
Yeah.
Stuff starts freezing up and then they're gone. But, that's my big thing is, I feel like I got the goose bit out of me. Something I really want to do is I just want to shoot a dry field, just mallards.
Yeah.
Something like that. That seems like something would be awesome.
Sounds like we need to go to Canada.
Yeah, I'll go. Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah, right.
But another thing too that I haven't narrowed it down yet. So maybe this year, maybe next year, I'll let you know about that spec hunt.
Yeah.
Like that's something that we definitely got to do.
Yeah, I need to do something like that. Just some sort of travel hunt. I've been telling Ashley lately I need to do a travel hunt. Because I feel like the experience of traveling to go hunt is just as fun as the hunt itself.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Like that Oregon hunt we went on, man, that was fun.
That was a wild trip.
That was good.
That was another trip I thought we were going to die.
And then that was good too because I had a rental car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
Ford Ranger, because somebody, when I was going duck hunting, somebody hit my truck. And then my truck was in the shop, so they gave me a rental truck. And then, we took that, went to Oregon. Monsoons, dude.
There was just water across the freeway, cars in the ditch every 10 miles.
The place we were hunting at, the road was flooded. It was like 2 foot deep.
It was above the
and
tires.
We had to drive through
it was gnarly.
Like that was that, but that, I mean, it was fun. That was a good experience. I mean, we didn't have a banger out days, but I mean, it was still.
We shot our limit the one day though, didn't we?
The first day, I think, yeah.
Yeah, the first day we shot our limit.
Mm-hmm.
That was what was his
Rice.
Yeah, Rice's waterfowl guides or something. Yeah, he's a good
James
dude.
Rice. Yeah,
James I really liked that guy.
Corvallis, Oregon. Yeah, no, that was. I mean, his spot's cool. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, I bet it's really good in the early season and then late.
Yeah, once you're hitting them back on the, but I mean, Oregon's different because I mean, it's fun to hunt other places because then you see other things. Like sometimes in the late season, like we have big spins of pintails, but nothing really anything like that. But when we went to Oregon, dude, it was just flocks after flocks after flocks of pintails. Like that's just something we don't really see. And then all the other species of geese that they have also too, like, you got to be careful on what you shoot.
Yeah, that made me a little nervous to be honest, because they're like, you got to take a test for geese. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, I'm like, man, it's just different. But like those experiences are like cool too, just as cool.
Yeah,
because you don't see those things or whatnot. And I mean, he still had teal flying in, and then teal are gone after like the first week here.
Yeah,
or a couple weeks, but.
Yeah, I really thought that pit blind was super fun too, like hunting out of that. Mm-hmm. Just like he had like that island set up with a pit.
And water all around, yeah.
Yeah,
no, that was cool. That place was cool.
I really wish, I mean, there's some days I love my dog and then there's some days I hate my dog, but I wish I would have brought my dog on that trip.
Yeah. No, dude, your dog's great. Your dog's great.
Some days. I have to work with him. Just lately, he's been breaking a lot, but there was a whole year there where he hunted with someone else, not me.
Right.
And I don't think that that's necessarily the right call there. I need to know next time, like, hey, if you're going to hunt with my dog, like, he can't break.
No.
Like, you can't have a dog that's breaking, because obviously in one of the hunts that we had, there was a few times where we had to stop shooting because he was running out in the way, and I don't think that that's okay. So I got to come up with a system. There's a new... I think Dakota Decoys came out with a new dog blind, and it's actually got a closed gate on the front, and then you can release it. So I think I'm going to get one of those, and I'm really going to start working with him on that. I need to either get it and then just start practicing shooting. just to get him where he's staying at the blind.
Yep.
But I mean, he fetches most of our birds, so I can't complain too much. It's just sometimes it's frustrating when he freaks out or does his little thing.
Yeah.
So
I remember when I had to put him in the truck, man, he was pissed at me. I'm like, dude, it wasn't my call.
Yeah.
It wasn't my call, man.
He was bad that day, but I also think it was super cold. It was a lot colder than...
It was freezing.
Than I guess I should have been running him at. So putting him in the truck was probably a smart thing. We got out in that water anyways.
Yeah.
It's not like we couldn't retrieve the birds that day.
Yep.
So, but everything was, I mean, it was freezing as we were hunting. It was just cold. So, but those are the hunts I like. Man, the last day of season last year, I think about that day a lot. That one, it was frustrating, but I get that not everyone can tough it out.
It was fine. I mean, it happens. It was partially our fault.
Yeah,
you know,
it was.
We went into that spot kind of blind too.
Yeah.
I mean, they were there, but we didn't know when they were coming in, what they were doing, things like that. Yeah. So, I mean, it was just kind of more of a return, you know, roost type of thing that we didn't know.
And that's 100%. I wish I would have scouted it just because not only do you scout birds and you find birds.
Yeah.
I was learning that when we were finding birds, all right, where are they coming from? And time is a big thing.
Time is a huge thing, yeah.
So, like, if we would have known, hey, don't come for a couple more hours. Yeah. They're not going to be here until midday.
Yep. They start flying in at, 1 or 2 or whatever.
Yeah, that would have been...
Then we would have, had an hour-long hunt.
That was wild in the morning, though, when all those pintail were on top of us.
That was crazy. Yeah, but see, if we weren't sitting out there, we would have missed on all that.
Yeah, but they came back at noon.
True.
So we might not have missed out on that. True. I mean, how many? There was probably 150.
There was a lot. I don't know.
And I was trying to catch them with my hands. Mm-hmm. They were so close. That was cool. But scouting's a big one as far as you can't just say, hey, there's birds here. I mean, it's got to be time. You got to be, which direction are they coming from? I mean, your setup's going to be based off of the wind. The wind is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And everyone's got their own version of how they want things set up.
Yep.
So.
And then, I mean, it's just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't really know. I mean, if it's not working,
change something.
Don't be afraid to just go out there and change something.
I know.
Obviously, they're seeing something they don't like.
Yeah, I love it when you're hunting and you're like, something's wrong, and you have the urge to change one decoy by 4 feet, and you're like, that's gonna
that'll do it. Yep,
So.
No, I agree. I mean, I do that. And then everybody's like, what's that gonna do? Like, makes me feel better.
Yeah. It's all about confidence in your spread, I guess.
That's right.
So, yeah. You got any intentions on getting any more decoys or anything this year? Or you think you're pretty much set with what you got?
Yeah. Yeah, I will. I mean, the goal is I want to, get a field trailer, and then fill it up. I don't know necessarily what yet.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get a few more bags of silos.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of the spots that, I hunted this past year, it was the X, but, it's green wheat. And the only way to get out there to be on the X, is to walk 700 yards in.
Yeah.
So, invest in a good sled, and then, don't be afraid to pack it in.
Yeah. You could also fit those silhouettes on like a pack frame too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah. You know how I said I was missing some decoys last year? I don't know if you remember that or not. Well, I thought I was missing a bunch of decoys. Come to find out I was missing them. My dad had them stored away somewhere. And I go over there the other day and they're in the back of my razor. It's a whole bag of like 36 ducks and a couple of the geese, the flocked geese that I had. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. I thought I was missing something.
Oh, I think I remember you saying
like,
that. Yeah, because you had like ones without head or something like that. Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah. So, Yeah, so it'll be good to get some more of those decoys back in. Obviously, we have enough decoys between the two of us.
Yep.
But
yep.
I do think a lot of goose floaters has changed the game. I mean, you get a lot of those guys out there they run a big duck spread and then like 6 goose decoys.
Yeah.
I think the opposite.
Like I think the opposite, yeah.
A ton of goose decoys and a couple duck decoys. Because ducks are going to come to geese.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like sometimes when you're later in the season, it seems like even a calling like a goose might attract a duck.
Yeah.
More times than not.
Yep.
Versus, your duck call or whatever it might be. But, I mean, they'll come into a all goose spread. They don't care.
Yeah. Especially like an all goose spread with like one spinner, I think.
Yep.
Ducks will just lock in on that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, hopefully one of the duck spots that we got, hopefully we can get back in on it, I guess, and do a good duck hunt this year. We need to find more flooded duck spots, dude.
Yeah. So that's the hard thing.
Or just go like reroute somebody's creek when they're in the middle of the night. And
See, it's hard for us because it's so cold.
Yeah.
We only have a short window really for a nice flooded field.
Yeah.
Unless if you get on something that, is like a spring or anything like that. But
if we get a bunch of snow and then it melts in January, that's usually when it's really good out in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't get that, if it just stays cold, then we're screwed.
Yeah.
So
like this year, it flooded out pretty good there for a couple weeks, and then everything was kind of on fire, and then it just got miserably cold again, and then you couldn't even find a duck or goose without having to drive 2 hours.
Yeah. Yep. Man, I don't know. I know there's a few things I want to try too, like hunting on a river, but I think that there is some spots where you can get to where people don't hunt, and I don't know. I need to learn more about like boats and boat blinds and stuff like that, but I think there's a few spots where if you had a boat blind, you could do really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I like the field hunting and the small water hunting just because of ease, but I do think that there's a few spots on big water that we could kill lots of birds and a lot of divers. I would love to do some diver hunts late in the year too.
Yeah. Definitely it would be fun to do a couple more strictly just, diver hunts.
Yeah, I need to get diver decoys though. I don't know if you need them, but I know that white, it seems like they really like those white decoys sticking out. So I don't know whether you could get a bunch of decoys and paint them, or if you'd need to get a bunch of decoys.
I don't know. I'm not that big versed in divers.
Just get a bunch of milk jugs and throw them out there.
Milk jugs, throw them out there. I remember reading a story or something. It was called like floaters or something like that or whatever. They just used like logs.
Really?
Yeah, like logs. That they just float, string them up. That works. I mean, that was probably a while ago, but that worked.
Yeah.
So
now we're all like, we gotta have flocked.
Yeah.
They gotta be basically look real.
Yeah. They gotta be dive bomb or you're not killing nothing.
Yeah, right. I wonder when Washington will allow you to use motorized decoys.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it would be nice if you go 20 miles that way, you can use them.
I know, and they don't make that much of a difference, really. But I don't see
what's the difference from 20 miles that way to here?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, they don't make that much of a difference. It's just nice to not have to pull on a cord.
Yeah. I mean, it would make life easier for sure. I mean, it would be nice. I don't see why, they can use them and we can't.
Yeah. I mean, Washington's one of the only states, I think there's only a couple states that don't allow it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day. I did see that, you can use e-calls for snows.
Yeah.
in the spring season. They changed that. So maybe it's coming eventually.
Yeah. They're starting to change a few rules, I think. I hope anyways. Like I think the last year they changed, I think you can run hounds for coons now in Washington.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
But I don't think I could have a half a dozen hounds in town.
Dude, I can't even handle one dog.
Yeah. Yeah. How old's your dog now?
She's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She been put on a diet, or is she still
that's my bad. I don't hunt her enough. But
Yeah.
that's my bad too, because, she'll retrieve ducks all day long. I'm no dog trainer. I failed her.
Yeah.
She just has it in her. Like one day I took her out. I shot something. She went and brought it back. Then I'm like, all right, that's good enough for me. And then I never work with her. I failed her completely. Like I never work with her or anything like that. That's one thing I could do much better. It's just hard because anything that I would do, I feel like my kids would just destroy, throwing the ball, not making her sit, things like that. But she's good enough for what I need. I don't take her on big hunts or anything like that just because I don't, want her make me look like a fool.
Yeah, that's the
or
one
getting
thing.
Shot.
That's the one thing that is, I'm hoping is that either you or one of my buddies gets a good dog, so that way I don't have to worry about it. I don't want to be the guy out there like, gosh, dang it.
Yeah. That's another thing too, man. It definitely takes a strong person to run a dog too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can be frustrating at times for sure. So it sounds like Larry might have got a new dog.
I heard that. I saw that actually.
Hopefully he just brings his and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to put in the time for scouting this year, take hunting a lot more seriously. I think I have a dirt bike race in October, but I'm just going to do one. And then other than that, like I say, we'll see how my wrist heals. I get my pins out on Monday and we'll see how it heals after that. But this year I'm going to focus on pulling the trigger again. I need to get out and shoot a lot more birds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last year I shot a couple, but the year before I didn't go very much at all. So I need to get back out to going a couple times a week, I'm hoping. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So,
well, it'd definitely be nice to have a scouting partner,
Yeah, that's the hard part is you put in all those hours and you have buddies that are like, all right, let's go. And it's like, yeah, but I can't rely on you going and finding the birds next time.
Yeah.
So am I going to be the guy that's spending $200 a day to go look for these birds and no return?
Yep.
So if you have those guys out there helping you, it's one thing.
Yeah.
Or guys that say, yeah, I got all these spots, and you're like, okay, well, I found birds on your spots. Let's go. Oh, we're not going to hunt it this week. It's like, is it really your spot, or are you just saying it's your spot?
Yeah.
So it's frustrating when you get guys that aren't willing to put in the work. But yeah, my truck started leaking oil right at the end of when we started hunting. I still haven't fixed it. I have to lift my whole cab up to get it fixed. So I've avoided that, but I got to get it fixed before season because I'm going to put some miles on that thing. So
get that sucker fixed, dude.
I know.
Or just buy a Prius.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, buy something that's, real nice on gas.
Yeah, I feel like if I showed up to a farmer's house in a Prius, he'd be like, get out of here, you Californian.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
yeah, I need a new scout rig for sure.
Yeah. Well, yours has low miles, doesn't it?
Mine has really low miles, but
it just
I'm trying to keep it nice.
Yeah.
Like I want that truck to stay nice. I don't want to be putting all these miles on it.
It would be nice, like, get a little rig that gets good gas mileage. And like a little geo tracker or something like that.
Yeah. Something, at least that, you can at least drive into a spot.
Yeah. Something if you accidentally sink it in the pond, you're not too worried about it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So, yeah, I remember Doug. You met Doug.
Yeah.
He used to tell me the field that we hunted at. He used to drive us when he was my age. His field used to flood, and he used to drive his Suburban through the ice to get all the ice broken up. Instead of out there walking, he'd just drive his lifted Suburban through the ice. And I'm like, that's the way to do it right there.
You should keep that sucker. You should go buy another Suburban, Doug.
I know, right? So, yeah, he probably had a badass stereo system and everything. He's out there bumping, breaking ice. So that'd be super fun. I think he used to guide waterfowl back in the day. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think he used to be pretty big into it. All the stuff that Larry had was all Doug's from back in the day, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just has a bunch of back issues. I guess when he was younger, they were driving through a field or something, and he was in the back of a truck, and they like went over a sod bank, and he broke his back. So he's got a bunch of screws and stuff holding his back together, and it just hurts him a lot now. So he doesn't really get out too much. But it was really cool seeing him get out a bunch this year, or the couple times that he did go out. It was cool seeing him get out. So he's fun. I like Doug. I want to get him out on some more hunts this year. And I'm sure we will, but I know that there's going to be a lot of hours behind the steering wheel driving.
Yep. But I have faith. I mean, it's, you're never really figured out. Each year's different, right? Yeah. Temperature's different, times of the year they're flying, things like that. I mean, everything's different every year, but, I feel like I kind of, I was out driving enough. I kind of knew where they were, at least kind of what markers around, that they would stop by here, things like that, where the roosts may be, stuff to look for this next upcoming year.
What's funny too is my dad, he used to be really into bird hunting, and now it's just kind of like he drives truck and he'll drive by a flock and he'll be like, just keep driving. And I'm always like, why don't you tell me where these are at?
Yeah.
Like we'll be going down in some of the areas you have locked up, and he'll be like, I was driving by here the other day and there was a couple hundred or 1,000 geese in this field. I'm like, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
Like if you see any within 2 hours of our house, let me know.
Yeah. Yep.
So hopefully he starts keeping an eye out.
He should. You should just put a camera on him.
Right.
Or at least in his truck, so then you can just keep tabs on him.
Give me mile markers. Yeah. You're on the road all the time. Might as well.
Yeah. I'm not saying I don't need a Onyx pin.
Yeah.
I'm just saying give me a rough estimate and I'll go drive there myself.
Yeah. So he should be keeping an eye out for us this year. I'm sure he's going to, if he's like, oh, you got on that field that I found for you, he's going to be like, there's an extra person going. Yeah, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Usually the more the merrier.
In certain scenarios.
Yeah. I mean, especially if it's like, your dad or whatever, I mean, if it's like some random guy, bringing some other random guy, then you're kind of like,
yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a good year. I think we're going to crush them. Or we're going to scout a lot. Yeah. One of the two.
Either way, man, there's be a lot of Maverick snacks.
Yeah. Sour Patch Kids for days.
And good times being had.
So, yeah. Anything else?
I don't know, man.
Any new calls got your eye or anything like that? Gonna stick with what you got?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I want a new duck call.
I want a new duck call. I really do. I do. I just don't know. I think the first thing is, I wasn't going to say this because I didn't want anybody to know, but I think I'm going to buy some tall socks.
Some tall socks. Yeah.
I think that's number one. And then, number two is more solos. And then, we'll see how it goes from there. But definitely I'm not in love with my duck calls. But I guess I don't know really where to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we're starting to get more pintail in the area too, so I'm going to start working that pintail call a little bit more, learning how to use that correctly. I kind of just blow on it a bunch now, so I need to learn how to use it correctly. And And I think that'll make a difference. You got everyone in the blind knows how to call on a mallard call for the most part. There's some people out there that don't, but mix it up a little bit. Throw some widgeon, throw some pintail in there. Yep. Mix it up. I think that'll be good. So learn how to do that. I need to learn my goose call better. I mean, I feel like I'm okay at goose calling, but I know that there's a long ways to go. I know the basics. So I need to learn a lot more.
Yeah, same. I could definitely practice a lot more.
Yeah.
I just never do. And then by the time I think about it, it's hunting season, and I'm like,
if you're on the X, do you need to know?
We're just going to go for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's not that easy to be on the X.
Yeah.
But sometimes it happens.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have to do some more hunts. I'm definitely going to try and do more filming this year, too, just because I thought that was kind of entertaining, too. Yeah. Even if I'm not shooting, I thought it was just as much fun to film them.
Yeah, honestly. No, I mean, it was definitely a cool experience to actually look back on it,
Yeah.
I still watch it every now and then. Like, I remember it in my head, but it's different when you see it.
Yeah.
Because then you see every part of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's much, much nicer.
Yeah, I'm going to get some more cameras, too, because the GoPro thing's honestly pretty easy, and it looks halfway decent.
No, it looks good.
So I'm probably going to get a couple more GoPros that'll be able to do it. There's this new one out that has, like, cameras on both sides, so you can, like, look forward and backwards at the same time. It's kind of
really?
weird. Yeah. So I'll probably have a few more GoPros playing, as well as a handheld camera, just so I can start getting some footage of our hunts. I got a few deer hunts.
Yeah.
I drew a second deer this year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so I got 2 deer to shoot this year, and I'm going to try and film those as well. Just got to get those YouTube subscribers so I can be a stay-at-home dad,
Yeah, dude, that's my goal.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice if you just traveled around and just were able to shoot things.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I would love that.
That'd be the ideal job, but for most people that's not a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're over an hour now, so
that went by quick.
I know.
Well, we'll say, so I'll say, I have been debating. I know it's been like the last couple of years. I've been debating on if I should go try to shoot a deer, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's so different because they open the same weekend.
Well, I'll tell you this. If Ashley shoots a deer early, which we're hoping that happens, if Ashley shoots a deer early, I will try and help you get your bow set up, and we can try and go shoot a deer in the late
that's
season.
Another thing I keep saying. I'm like, oh, man,
you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it with a bow.
We'll do it. And then I don't even know. I think my bow's in some closet. I don't even know.
Well, we'll get it figured out.
I don't even know the last time I even looked at that thing. Who knows, man? Maybe my wife sold it.
Maybe
it went in the last yard sale.
I think it would be pretty easy to get you a deer. And I'm not gonna lie, that meat's a little bit better than goose meat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the what go scout ducks or
see, the thing about it is you can still scout ducks.
That's true.
And still deer hunt at the same time.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you're only taking away a day or so.
That's true.
If we play our cards right. If you do it like you're scouting and you're going to go do a killer bird hunt, we're going to scout these deer, get it consistent.
Yeah, see.
Or we're going to go duck hunting.
Ideally, you just shoot your limited ducks early and then you can go shoot a deer, right?
That's also another thing. You can hunt in the mornings for ducks and hunt in the evenings for deer.
Yeah, I don't get that lucky, man, usually.
Well, we'll make it happen.
We will.
That'd be a badass video.
That would be a sweet video.
Shoot some ducks in the morning and deer in the evening.
Yeah.
We might have to do it.
Yeah, maybe we'll just work extra hard to make sure it happens.
Yeah, we might have to do it.
Sweet.
All right. Well, I think we're good.
Heck yeah, dude.